Welcome back to another video. It's very nice to see you here again. Today we're doing my updates on LCA stock. We're giving my predictions for the next week. Do I think the stock is going to bounce back? So yeah, the whole idea of tonight's video is we're going to look at this one from a completely different perspective, because I do believe that when a lot of people are analysing this stock, they do actually miss out a few fundamental details. I think it's important to look at some other factors, and that is exactly what we are doing in this video to kind of help us distinguish what has gone on and where we may go in the future. So of course, if that sounds like a good plan, you really should subscribe, because it's official now, guys. If you are not subscribed to this channel, you are officially missing out, and a lot of you guys are subscribed, so thank you for all the love so far. But of course, if you do want to come and help us, come and join us, feel free to just press that little button that says subscribe. On top of that, you could of course come and join us on Discord. We now have quite a large Discord and growing. We do intend to keep that one growing into the future, so thank you for joining that. But of course, if you aren't joined, feel free to. It's a great place to talk about stocks. Just going to start off having a quick look at this stock and also comparing it to the S&P 500. I'm going to talk about why in just a moment, but of course, if we do have a look specifically at LCA stock and how that one has been moving over the past month or so, we can see that we are unfortunately down. So we're just going to start off looking at this on the one-day charts, which were for last Friday, by the way, if you were wondering. And then from that point, we're going to move ourselves in closer. So of course, looking at this on the past day, we are actually not doing well. We have seen quite a lot of volatility. So we started off the day on a price of 22.78. We finished off on 22.16. Obviously, that does not sound like too big of a decrease, but when we do think about what the stock's value is, obviously it is kind of significant, with Google saying that that is a minus 4%, sorry. So yeah, obviously quite a significant decrease on a one-day chart. But you know, when we look at this from the 5-day chart, we are unfortunately also down. But like I did say in the last update, we are not down by too much. So of course, if we do have a look at where we started, we were at 22.87 at the start of the 5-day period, and we finished off the 5-day period on 22.16. Obviously, looking at that, we can see we're only down 3.1%, but obviously looking at that, how that's been moving, it has been quite a volatile period throughout those few days. So we can see that it has been a lot of, peaks, a lot of dips and whatnot through that period. However, we haven't ended too badly overall. So yeah, let's move in a little bit further out and have a look at the 1 month chart. If we do have a look at the 1 month chart, we can see we have really seen a lot of huge moves on the stock's price recently. We started off the month on under $15. We ended up the month on about $22, but we have seen highs this month of 25. So of course, 24.77 basically was our all-time high. That's near enough to $25. So yeah, we were doing decently up until that point. But of course, it did unfortunately go down. So of course, there are a few reasons, a few factors which people have thought that has happened for. But of course, we're looking at what might happen next in this video. So yeah, we can see how steeply we are up on this stock's value recently. If we do have a look, we are up hugely. Let's get a percentage on that. Over the past few months, we're up about 70%, so that's about 60 to 70% from the 6th of November to the 11th of December. So just over a month, we're up very significantly. I think it's important when we look at this chart, and I've just realized it would be important to consider this one. Look at the S&P 500. So of course, if you guys don't already know, I'm sure you probably do, the S&P 500 is an index of the top 500 stocks on the American stock market. So if we do have a quick look at how that one has been moving, we are looking at very similar moves to what we have been seeing with LCA. I think this is very significant. I think it's something which you should consider. I'm going to be explaining what this means in just a moment. But let's just compare the two for a second and have a quick look at the S&P 500's charts. So yeah, looking at how the S&P 500 has been moving, we have been seeing a slow rally up recently, and that generally shows that there is strength in the market. People are happy to buy stocks. Generally speaking, how this index is moving can be a good indicator of how people are feeling towards stocks, and we can see that this is positive. However, on a similar time frame to what we have seen with LCA, we have unfortunately seen a sell-off in this value, unfortunately very recently, and I think these kind of comparisons are very close actually. The moves upwards do kind of correlate with each other, and I think that's often the case with stocks. I think it's also something that you need to consider with stocks in general, because obviously it's a case of a particular stock can outperform the market for a short period of time, but in the end it's either a case of the stock catches up with the market or the market catches up with the stock. And I think in this case it could unfortunately be a case of the stock is catching up with the market, and obviously over the past few days, the market has been taking a downturn. There are a lot of reasons for that. Of course, you could just Google those if you did want to, but I do not think this is necessarily a bad thing. So of course, now we're just going to move on to my predictions. But yeah, let's just have a look at the S&P on the 5-day chart and then have a look at this stock on the 5-day chart as well. So actually, we are seeing not as bad dips on the S&P. So of course, that does kind of show strength in stocks. If we do have a look over the past day or so, we have seen a positive day on the Friday, the 11th of December. So that does show positive signs potentially for next week. I think a similar thing can be said for LCA. I'm saying that because even though we did see a small decrease towards the end of the day, I do believe it is possible that the stock price could take an increase on the Monday. So we're just going to be talking about that right now. So let's jump straight into the forecast for the next week. So my forecasts are hopefully positive because when we're looking at this company, I do see a lot of potential success for the long term, and that is why I can see this one go back in. I think eventually people will be looking at this one and saying, you know what, this is becoming to the point where it's at a significant, discounted price, and I think that is when we are going to see people start to get back into it. If we do have a look at how the moves have been going over the past month, it does look like this move is potentially, almost over, because when we have a look at how volatile it has been moving and how quick it has been moving, it does look like, over the past 5 days, especially this big sell-off point here, kind of leveled us out, and from there we haven't really moved too much down. So if we do have a quick look, that big move took us down about 5%, almost even 6%, but from there we've only moved about 2% down. And of course, a lot of that on the last Friday was not even too bad, in the sense that we almost were positive, and I think that is generally a good indicator for this company. So my personal views for the future, what do I think for this stock? Long term, I don't see it as a bad buy at all. I think it is a good buy. I have faith in the Golden Nugget company, and I think it's generally a good stock to buy. If you are in that kind of market, I think this is, generally speaking, one of the best bets out there. And of course, I am not a financial advisor, but that is my opinion. And I do think it is still a buy. Looking at how you could trade this stock if you are in it for the short term, I definitely think there is a lot of volatility in this stock to trade at the minute. I would personally, in my opinion, like I said, anticipate it going upwards. But if you were going for a swing trade, potentially even still buy in now and sell out a few days before the merger. That is generally speaking what I would do, unless you did want to hold it for a long-term period like I did say. And if you do want to do that, I do not see it as being too bad of a time to buy this one at all. So of course, I just thought I'd give you a quick update with my opinions and perspectives for the next week. What do I think will happen in the next week? I definitely think it's possible that we could see a bounce back and that it could go positive again, and I would absolutely love to see that. So I hope that you did enjoy the video. If you did enjoy the video, of course, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one in just a bit. So thank you for all your time, and thank you for all the support. See you then. Goodbye.